Express Employment Professionals. Don't go it alone. Visit expresspros.com to find the location nearest you. That's expresspros.com.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
Number one on your car radio preset and the new and improved iHeartRadio app. WDAS and WD273D Philadelphia is Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler.
Down to the final 5 seconds. Rats rain down. Lord Stanley staying in South Florida. Last year was greatness. This time it's historic. The Florida Panthers are back-to-back Stanley Cup champions.
Oh, good afternoon, everybody. Daily Ticket on a hump day. Yeah, that means Wednesday. You don't follow up by saying hump day Wednesday. Everybody understands. Hump day is a Wednesday. Remember that commercial? Mike. Yes, Daily Ticket with you live. Sean Brace, Kyle Fisher from the Jump here on a Wednesday. I love it. 3 p.m. Of course, Kyle Fisher, 45 on socials. He was up late last night, Fox 29, holding it down, talking a little about the fight-ins and the lack that they did of exactly that yesterday down in Miami. Of course, we'll hit on that. The controversy about cussing out a manager and whether or not a manager should react. Luzardo, we got a lot to discuss. Round 3 in that game, and we roll on this week because the Mets are coming to town. Big-time series, I believe. But as you just heard, we open it up with the big news in sports, and we got a back-to-back Stanley Cup champion in the Florida Panthers. That just does not sound right as a guy that has been around since the existence of the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Florida Panthers. Hockey in Florida, it's as dominant as it gets last 6 seasons, but man, it still just does not sound right. But I'll tell you what, you watch that team play, it looks pretty damn good on that ice. They were the better team against a really talented, explosive Edmonton Oilers squad, of course, with Connor McJesus out there floating on ice. But Reinhart with 4 goals. Bennett played his ass off. Conn Smythe award winner there at minus 160. There were so many things into that series that we discussed. Bob, I didn't even open up with probably the one big thing for us here in Philadelphia there with Sergei Bobrovsky, and who is a Hall of Fame goalkeeper that once played for the Flyers. Hi, Kyle. You're muted. Great start.
Man, just getting it off right. You know, that's the way to go. So that is the way to start. I didn't just have a long night because I was on Fox 29.
My Lord.
You're all right. I'm messing with you. Go ahead.
I said, didn't just have a long night because I was on Fox 29. My son, he's fine, but he had to take a trip to the hospital yesterday. So he's down on senior week. Nothing alcohol related. Kid's 18. He got really bad sunburn. Went to the hospital.
I was going to guess
sun poisoning.
Oh, no.
It wasn't, thankfully, but they gave him some IV, made sure he was hydrated, gave him some medicine. Well, it was cloudy. He didn't put 2 and 2 together. I was like, come on, man. You see our skin. You see how pasty we are. You got to be prepared at all costs.
I remember when I was 18.
Yeah, well, when he was – so do I. I did the same thing. I thought he would have learned from me. But,
we actually talked about this because I'm in my right hand for the people that are not watching. That's great on radio. I am holding up a can of Wear SPF. I actually had a little bit on earlier today. Justin Thomas's brand from the PGA Tour. Read his story at wearspf.com. For all the parents out there, one of the, if not the safest sunscreen out there on the market. And I'll tell you what, when you wear it, there's no scent and you feel it. There's few things that will separate you from a different sunscreen from a different sunscreen. I can tell the difference between this and the other sunscreens I've been wearing. No more. WearSPF.com. Trust me, I got one in my bag, one in my car, and one right here when it comes up. But I'm glad to hear that your son's doing all right, as I just turned your son's trip to hospital to a nice plug for
thanks for that. Appreciate that.
Lord,
Lord.
Thank you.
We're both off to a great start on Wednesday, huh? Jeez.
All right, Kyle, we got a lot to discuss. Stanley Cup, are you a ice hockey fan, Flyers fan? I didn't even talk to you about this, but where do you stand on that?
Yeah, I fell off following them day to day after the last run kind of ended when Simmons and Giroux and that whole crew kind of dispersed. I haven't been as locked in. Paid attention from afar. Paid attention to the Stanley Cup though. Great Florida Panthers team. Beginning of a dynasty here. We'll see how long it lasts. Hockey, I feel like there's so much turnover year after year, but brought in new coaching after being on the cusp for a few years. They are deep across the board, like you mentioned. Strong goaltending, strong forward play. Don't know a lot about their defensemen, to be honest with you. As I mentioned, I'm a casual when it comes to the NHL, but you know that their forwards and centers are top of the league. And then on the other side, yeah, they were a strong team, but as you mentioned, Hockey Jesus not really showing up in the big time. Only one goal in the Stanley Cup, so that's obviously going to be an off-season storyline the entire way. But shout out to the Panthers. Big victory for them going back-to-back. It is weird. Like you said, the last 6 seasons, 4 Stanley Cups, 2 back-to-backs in Florida, still since 93 for a team in Canada. They're looking more and more like the Cowboys Canadian hockey team.
Ouch. Ouch. Yeah, stop letting them in. Let's just put it that way, right? I kid when I say that. I was actually hoping that they were going to pull it off. But, as much as it was a beatdown, I was really entertained. It was a great Stanley Cup final. I'm not afraid to say the G word. I'm not afraid to say it. It was a great Stanley Cup final. I was very entertained. And for a guy that really didn't watch a ton of hockey this year, last year watched a lot, year before a lot, this year I just didn't get down with it. Wasn't able to tune into too many Flyers games. They weren't really worthwhile. Mitchkoff a little bit in the beginning, but for the most part, the Flyers, fair weather fan, hand in the air, don't care. And I'm a lot like you, where like Simmons and Simmer and that whole crew kind of like once they disappeared and they separated and went their own ways, nothing really was worthwhile tuning in. I think they have made the playoffs one time since then. I think they ended up losing to the Rangers in that series, if I'm not mistaken.
Right, yeah.
Not a lot happening, but it is crazy because you look at how dominant they were, and we always do it, right? We get to these finals and you look at the 2 teams that are playing for the championship and you have to ask yourself, how far off are the Flyers, or how far off are the Sixers, or how far off are the Phillies from last year, and so on and so forth. And I don't even know. I can't get into X's and O's when it comes to the world of hockey, but just watching what I saw between those 2 teams, the pace, the skill, the want. And it's different because we're talking about a Stanley Cup final versus a regular season game in January or February. So let's be realistic with that. But hockey players, they give a full throttle effort most of the 99% of the time out there, whether it's preseason, regular season, or playoff hockey. We are on 2 different planets when it comes to the Flyers versus what the Panthers are, and of course Edmonton are. But I don't know, man. Maybe one day. And the biggest thing that hit me again, Kyle, you know this better than anybody, because you work in a stadium. When a team is good and has a successful season, they go to the playoffs. Translation, extra paychecks for the people that are out there working in the stadium, extra dollars in their pocket, extra opportunities for these folks to make a name for themselves that work in sports. And I could only think to myself of like how great the people are that represent the Flyers, that represent the Phillies, Eagles, Sixers. Like, man, they are so rewarded by having these teams go on a deep playoff run. And we have just been gutted over these past few seasons, especially from the Flyers perspective. Sixers, I get it, not so much. Second round, you get a couple extra paychecks, but it would be nice to have a trip to a Stanley Cup Finals or an NBA championship or an Eastern Conference final. It would be nice to have that in one of those 2 sports.
Yeah, not only as a fan, but like you said, the people who work in those stadiums day in and day out, the people who cover them with a passion, like you and I, or like, some of the people who write for the Flyers team, like my guy Chris Babos, who's on with me regularly. He's dying to get there. But my buddies who are vendors, my brother-in-law is a vendor. He's dying to see extra weeks and extra paychecks. And, hopefully Mitch Cobb and this next generation can get them there. But I think it's going to be a little bit before we really see the fruits of that labor.
Amen to that. Hopefully sooner than later. All right. Anything else in the world of hockey? Well, you know what? Let's have a look. What do you say here, Kyle Fisher? Let's have a look and see those odds and see how far off the Flyers are for next year as far as the Stanley Cup championship here. Panthers are 6-1 favorites right now to run it back. Wow, that would be absolutely amazing.
3 in a row.
Yeah, Edmonton 7-1, Carolina 9-1, Dallas Stars plus 950. Then we keep going, and we keep going down, and we're down a little bit more. And even more here on DraftKings Sportsbook, all the way to 100-1 for the Philadelphia Flyers to win a championship next season. I'll tell you what, I'll take a little piece of that.
Hey,
I'm in.
Sprinkle a little something on there, Doesn't hurt.
The pizza money bet. That's what they
call
it. Pizza money.
One thing before we move on from Stanley Cup.
Buy yourself an extra pie, all right? Don't waste your money on that.
That's what I'm doing. I don't know what you're doing, but did you see what Evander Kane did at the end of the last game?
He's not exactly the nicest guy out there. He's got a reputation, and uncalled for emotions gets the best of him. Of course, he slashed the hell out of Tkachuk, I want to say.
Yeah,
that wasn't
that first one. That little jab was, whatever. You want to skip the handshake line because you're emotional, fine. Like, people rip Brady over it, but he does that all the time. It was the follow-up, right? He gets the tiny slashing, gets called for the penalty, and then doubles down with a slash across the chest. It's classless move, man. It's just not called for, especially in that situation. You want to be a gritty player. What you mentioned about like the want, to me, that shows like the focus versus the emotion, right? Yeah, it was real late, and maybe the game's out of hand at that point. You got to be able to keep your emotions in check, and clearly Florida was able to do that throughout the series.
Yeah, you're right about that. Well, nice little segue. Keeping your emotions in check. Again, we don't get bogged down with this stuff like other radio stations out there where they drive calls on this topic. And if it's something that's entertaining to you, that's cool. I'm not here to poo-poo something that gets you by your day. I just think there's a lot of fraudulent hosts out there that love to just stir up some controversy for the sake of getting through their day. That's not what we do here. We have fun and we keep it moving. But of course, the story here in Philadelphia sports is the fact that Nick Castellanos had to miss last night's game against the Miami Marlins due to the fact that he was benched because he had a situation that happened after the first game against the Marlins, a game that the Phillies won, that he was pulled. I believe that's his hometown. He's from around that area, if I'm not mistaken, right? Miami. So there was a little something there that he didn't want to come out of that game. He was pulled, and he let Topper have it. And to the point that Topper said, you know what, man, he crossed the line, and therefore I have to be the manager here, and we're not going to have that. And I understand it. I respect it. It's what he has to do. I believe you could go about it a different way, and maybe a younger manager might have did it differently. But at the end of the day, man, you play 162. You got to keep people in check. And if he crossed the line, I'll trust Thompson, who's been around this league for a long damn time. I'll take his opinion on it. It sucks. It's a regular season game that they lost against the Marlins back on June 18th. Oh, well, they're winning a bunch these days. You want to keep that going. But these are the things that happen in sports, professional sports, in locker rooms and clubhouses all across this country that we don't deal with in the regular workforce, right? I don't have it happening here because I have HR. There's no HR with the Phillies. I mean, if there might be, but
yeah.
Rob Thompson is HR, bro, and he must handle it the way that a coach or a manager must in their mind, and I'll ride with him on that one. I have no issues whatsoever. Sucked that they lost that game, but even if Castellanos plays, I don't think that they're going to win that game. It was an ugly game, 8-3 final score, I believe. But your thoughts on Castellanos being benched yesterday?
Yeah, I think the thing that stinks the most about it is it was an exciting storyline had become that he had just passed Jimmy Rollins as far as consecutive games played, 236 straight games in his hometown, gets taken out for defensive reasons and made an inappropriate comment. Whether that means what was said was inappropriate, whether it was the timing was inappropriate, no one has been forthright on that as of yet, but they're not going to be, right? Thompson does a really good job of keeping everything in-house to the point where fans and some media members, some of the folks you talked about earlier, they have harped on him not showing emotion and not calling guys out for things. Well, he knows the kind of work that they put on to stay consistent and improve on the field. So he's not going to call them out or bench them for a bad performance, especially a veteran guy like Nick Castellanos. Think back to last season, right? He plays all 162 games. The guy was hitting 117 late in April. Wasn't benched for that. June, more than 2 months into the season, the guy was batting between 180 and 190. Wasn't benched for that. He showed the work, put the work in, showed the consistency. It's a veteran. He's showing an example every single day to the young guys. And he doesn't get benched for that. When he does get benched is when he does something egregious that's not a good example to those guys. Thompson is very big on, I'm an open book, open door. Come to me if you have a problem. From everything that I've heard, right, I have a source who has sources. It's not a direct guy in the clubhouse, but a guy I've talked to who's pretty tied in there. He told me that it's way more about the timing and the place of the comment than it is the comment itself.
I agree.
Likely doesn't bench him if he comes to him after the game and has words with him in his office. But if he says it in the dugout or in front of some of the young guys, Topper has to put a stop to that. I ride with the manager on that. And it seems Nick did too.
Yeah, I think that's well said, and obviously they're a person with the connection, so they heard that might be the truth, and I would assume that would be how it played out. Again, there were some other things that were discussed on the timeline, some people put in some situations over the past 2 seasons with Castellanos here that the situation happened. What was it? I forget. There was another issue that came up, and it was him batting in the order at the beginning of the season where he was hitting 7th.
Yeah.
And apparently he was upset about that. And of course he bumped him up. But I you're so right, Kyle. Like, Cast, you're a fan favorite. We love you. But you could do a little bit more at the dish, specifically your pop. You've been lacking in that department where we need a little bit more lumber from right field as far as home runs are concerned. I thought he would be a little bit more of a power hitter. Not the case. Your manager has had your back. He plays you every inning of every day. And I think Castellanos deserves a lot of credit, especially this day and age in all sports with all these players where they're always itching for a day off or an opportunity to take said game off. And Casty doesn't operate like that. I like Nick Castellanos. I do. I think he has a role regardless. Well, to a point, it comes down to stats and you got to deliver at the dish. His field, his glove isn't all that good, right? He's been a little bit better. He's making the catches that are right at him. He's made a few catches that are like, whoa, I didn't expect him to get to that ball. But I think you look at some of the numbers out there, stats wise, advanced analytics, all that. He is not a good right fielder. And again, he is constantly in the lineup and he's good. He's good. He's been consistent, but the pop isn't there. So this manager has been riding with you. And I think he crossed the line, as Topper said. He had to handle it his way. Probably happened in front of a lot of people, maybe a young player or two. Can't have that. 162. We got to police the clubhouse, police the locker room. And that's what Rob Thompson did.
Yeah, and look, if it was crazy egregious, they would have caught that on cameras, right? Somebody would have shown that. Maybe not the broadcast on NBC Sports, but like somebody would have caught somewhere them getting in a dispute in the dugout had it been some big public display or some cursing each other out type of situation or real fiery situation. It was probably a one-off comment said at the wrong time in front of the wrong people. Thompson does what he has to do. And again, people have asked him to correct things that didn't need correcting. Well, he's finally correcting something. And if you have a problem with that, then you're just looking for a reason to be upset.
Phillies signed him to a 5-year, $100 million contract in 2022. He's hitting currently .278, 7 home runs, 36 RBIs on the season. Again, I like Casty. It's a tough question or tough to come up with this answer. But has he lived up to that contract? Because I think he has, right? The contract isn't all that expensive. I thought he'd be a little bit better as far as power numbers are concerned. If you ask me, has he lived up to the contract? I don't know. What do you say to that, Kyle?
I mean, it depends on if you're just looking at the offensive production, I don't know if you can necessarily say that. I'm not saying that he's been bad, but when they signed him as a free agent, he was coming off of a season where he had a .576 slugging percentage, and hasn't touched 5 since. It was .389 in 2022, .476 in 2023, .431 last year, .425 so far this year. So the last 3 years, it's gone down each season. Yeah. Now, that's going to naturally happen with a guy who's getting past those prime years, your early 30s. He's in his age 33 season, but that big home run number, 34 homers in his last season in Cincinnati, that was actually the outlier. He was more of a big doubles guy, gap to gap. And even that has taken a step back. Like, again, that 2023 season was huge. 37 doubles, 29 homers from Cassidy, but maybe didn't live up to what people expected because he had that crazy year in Cincy that last season. Still, I think the leadership that he's brought, the example that he's set for some of the young guys, having another veteran bat in your lineup can never hurt. And I think they kind of targeted two guys at once and ended up picking both. Cassidy was put in a situation that he probably wasn't expecting to be, and he probably expected to be mostly a DH wherever he signed that season. And they happened to bring in Kyle Schwarber at the same time. Well, somebody's got to play the field, and Cassidy has put the work in to justify being out there every day in right field.
All right. Again, we don't go too crazy. I'm not seeing a lineup right now, but he'll be back in there today, right?
I would think so, yeah. I mean, Topper made it seem like it was just going to be a one-off. He didn't say specifically, yes, he'll be back in, but he also didn't say, we're going to have to see how it goes either. He said, yeah, just gets the day off. We feel like we needed to handle that internally. We didn't. Gets the day off.
Yeah, Cassidy was quoted by saying, again, like, I like Castellanos. I do. I like him. It's not
pretty
even
honest.
Yeah, he's an honest, straight shooter. He is a personality, but he doesn't have personality. Is that?
Yeah, he's not like an over-the-top personality, but it's a very unique, like stoic,
Yes. I like
this is how I deliver everything, and if you don't like it, oh well.
Look, the kid, Liam, right?
Yeah, that's every time. I mean, seeing those two together is so exciting, right? Like,
pretty cool.
That's what being a dad is all about, what that guy does with his son. So
Cassidy said, I wasn't happy about it, spoke my mind, close quote. That's it. Oh, no,
yeah.
he said that I crossed the line, so my punishment is I'm not playing.
Yeah, he's the manager. It's his decision.
That's it.
Okay, nice and easy.
That's it, man. We keep it moving here. All right, Kyle Fisher. Okay, over to the Phillies once again. Round 3 tonight, 6:40 p.m. Suarez on the mound. Ranger Day minus 176 here. 8.5 is our total in that one. Anything else to add from last night's game? Again, a loss. Wasn't a good game. Tough game.
Yeah, I mean,
they're not going to win
nothing
every
major. To me, the question is, what do we see from Luzardo, right? He's passed his innings from last season. We know that how good he was before, 4 starts ago now? Those 2 starts, his 4 and 3 starts ago where he allowed the 20 earned runs, had that great bounce back against the Cubs. Doesn't really have his control down there in Miami against his former club. Is it jitters, pitching where he grew up, pitching with family there, pitching against his former team? Or is it something more that they need to be concerned about? So I think it just keeps maybe it's not a red flag, but an orange flag above his head. Like, hey, this is something we need to monitor moving forward. Is he going to be the guy who had 10 Ks against the Cubs in 6 innings, or is he going to be the guy who struggles to get through 6 or through 5 against the Marlins and walks 4 while K'ing 4? So it's something worth watching. I wouldn't say it's an immediate concern. We saw what he did. If he can show anything close to that before those last 4 starts, you're still in good shape. But with how they've been tested in the rotation as far as injuries and some of these other red flags from Luzardo a couple starts ago, and Mick Abel being young, that's something worth digging into or watching closely.
Talk a little bit about Mick Abel coming up here. Not saying Rookie of the Year award, but there was a recent poll about rookies right now at the major league level, a couple late call-ups, recent call-ups, excuse me. And, of course, Abel now with 4 starts, whatever it is so far. But he made the list, and he's getting attention. Right now he's not listed as far as Rookie of the Year candidates are concerned for DraftKings Sportsbook. But pretty interesting stuff from Mick Abel. We will talk about Rookie of the Years coming up in just a second here. But staying with the Phillies, again, we'll talk more about tonight's game just a second as well. Trey Turner, though, 2 for 4 last night, lead off, 2 parts. One, I don't know why I continue to have to say this, but I had no issues with a Topper making the move to Stott. I don't want Schwarber there. I just don't. Last year, I didn't care. I didn't get caught up in the whole argument. Is he a leadoff? Like, he proved his worth. I trust Thompson. Go with Schwarber. If he's at the leadoff position, that's fine. But I'm old school. I'm a back of the baseball card guy. The analytics, I trust them. I'm with you. There are some people that get a little too caught up in it, but there are a lot that you can look at and learn a lot from, other than average and RBI and so on and so forth, of the old school way of looking and judging how a hitter's doing. But Schwarber, to me, was just, I wanted him out there at the 3-hole or the 4, and never really liked him at the leadoff, but dude just went out there and hit bombs. We know that. This year, you tried Stott, didn't work out. Love to see Stott be successful in that spot. Work pitches, work counts, get on base. It didn't work. And Stott was not a good leadoff hitter. Truthfully, Stott has been struggling, and he had the one season. That's the outlier, which is very unfortunate because I love Stott. Anyways, he's got a great walk-up song, right? But Trey Turner, though, and, the other thing I got to fess up about is I was talking to Luke Arcani a couple weeks ago, and I was like, dude, Francisco, that's fun to say. He's coming to I get it, Mets uniform, nobody likes him, whatever, but that dude delivers, and he is a damn good hitter, damn good player in a city of New York where it's not easy with all the attention. He's delivered and then some. Oh, by the way, they won last year. They got the edge on the Phillies, what took place in the postseason. Trey Turner's having a better season.
He is 100%.
Trey Turner's having a better season right now. I know Lindor is leading the way as far as all-star voting is concerned right now. No surprise because of New York. But you look at the numbers. And, oh, by the way, this was on the timeline a little earlier as well. I want to give a credit to Phil Central. Always worry about giving credit to counts I don't follow because who knows what else they're doing.
Yeah, right.
Some guy had a good tweet about it was this one podcast where it was Aaron Andrews and Chris Thompson, right? And he goes, isn't it funny, like these two girls, Aaron Andrews and Chris Thompson, start up their own podcast to yell about other girls? And I just chuckled at that, and I liked the tweet. I was like, yeah, and then I clicked on the guy's thing, and the first tweet was like, all right, see you, dude. Let me take that.
Never mind.
Yeah, my bad. I don't know him. Anyways, Phil Central, the shortstops who were available in 2022-23 offseason, Dombrowski picked the right one, and it's not even close. Xander Bogaerts, Carlos Correa, Dansby Swanson, Trey Turner. And I'm not surprised about any of that. That's one, Phil Central, because I don't think it was all that difficult. If you had your pick between Trey Turner and those other 3 candidates, that's fine. Correa, I would say, probably had a little bit better numbers than Bogaerts, if I'm not mistaken. Swanson, no way. And then, by the way, I do believe that's probably the more expensive contract out of the 4. So I know what he's trying to say, and he deserves credit. But at the end, it wasn't all that difficult between those other 3.
Yeah, I think Correa was the only one where people thought he might project to be better. He was a little bit younger, but as soon as you see the red flags in his medicals, obviously that's something that you want to avoid. But I think that Turner was the guy who everybody thought this is going to be a long-term superstar. And then, of course, you see what he does in the World Baseball Classic, and everybody gets really excited. I think the only reason that's ever been a question is because he had those early struggles. But outside of those early struggles, he's been the guy that they thought he was going to be. Maybe not a home run hitter, but you don't need him to be that, right? We talk about Thompson challenging guys. Well, he challenged Turner in the offseason to change his game around and be the table setter, and that's exactly what he's done this season. Guy leads the National League in hits, leads all shortstops in hits, obviously, leads all shortstops in batting average, in on-base percentage. He's second in OPS. He's second in doubles. He's tied for first in triples. He's second in stolen bases among shortstops. He's second among shortstops in runs. The guy has been nothing but what you could ask for out of his position. And you put him in a position to succeed, and he's risen to the occasion this season for sure. So easy decision looking back on it, obviously. If you take out those first few months, easy decision, what felt like an easy decision at the time. And you're seeing the results play out exactly how you wanted to this season, especially.
Yeah, Trey's been ripping the cover off the ball as of late. Yeah. And a lot of fun to watch, man, when he's at the top of the lineup leading off and getting on base, hitting home runs to start the game, which, he doesn't do all that often, but that happened 2 nights ago. Pretty fun stuff down there.
Seems to only do it on the road, which is funny. I don't know. I think he has 9 home runs. All of them are on the road this season.
Wow.
But I don't think anything of it, although I did make fun of, I can only imagine what the callers on sports radio are going to be like tomorrow. Like, oh, God, we pay him $300 million. Guy can't even hit one in front of the fans. This is ridiculous. I'll hang up and listen, or whatever they say now.
That's probably something that was said. You are so spot on about that. Unbelievable. All right, and for the people, Kyle Fisher, let me ask you about this one. And it's funny because I saw my own co-host, John Marks, who was there for a long time, and he deserves a lot of credit. I did see his tweet where he's like, I went through the list, and it's, it's not rocket science. It's June, not a lot to talk about. And they roll out that list, and that's fine. I think having the list is cool, right? Like, you are that radio station. You have a ton of people that work there. You get everybody's votes. And if you could trust everybody to not be an idiot, then you get, hey, well, this player had this many votes and this was the number one. Like, I thought that was a pretty cool idea, and they should do more stuff like that, right? But when you have like an idiot that just doesn't have Jalen Hurts on the list, like, come on, dude, what are we doing here? But where does Jalen fall in your top 5 right now? He's in your top 5 current Philadelphia sports figures, right?
Yeah, he is. I mean,
is he number 1 on your list?
How can he not be? He's won the Super Bowl. He's been to 2. He's the most important player on the most important team in the city.
Yep.
I mean, it's the most important player at the most important position in the most popular sport, both nationally and locally. How is he not number 1? I don't like it's. If you want to talk about numbers and results, he still has to be top 3 worst, top 1 best, right? Like, it's. I don't understand what some of these guys are doing with their lists. I mean, I do, right? We know what the game is, whether you respect it or not. You know what the game is.
Yeah. I don't respect it.
Yeah. But, it's
and literally, you can pull an animal out of the Philadelphia Zoo, put them in that studio. I don't even think they have to turn the microphone on. Like, let's just say, name me an animal, your favorite animal growing up.
Jaguar.
All right, you got a jaguar from the Philadelphia Zoo. You put him in WIP studio. You don't even have to turn the microphone on, and that jaguar will get ratings.
Yeah.
That show will get ratings. They don't. Now, if you turn the microphone on and the jaguar and does that for 45 minutes, I'll tell you, it will do pretty well as well.
Yeah, he'd at least get the first 15 of the hour would be pretty high rated, I'll tell you.
Nice work by you on that one. All right. Sorry, all over the place. I got to love it. Anyways, Jalen Hurts.
So that's what y'all wanted to see, huh?
Ain't that right, man? Number 1 on my list, number 1 on Kyle's list. And I said this to anybody that didn't have him number 1. I said, whoever you put up there, whether it's Trey Turner, whether it's Bryce Harper, whether it's Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, Zach Wheeler, Mitch Koff, Andre Blake from the Philadelphia Union. You want to throw a wings play? I don't care. Name the player that you have number 1 on the list that's not Jalen Hurts, above Jalen Hurts. And I guarantee if you ask that player, they would say, no, Jalen belongs number 1. Right. There you go.
There you go.
All right. To tonight's game we go. Once again, Ranger Day. What are you expecting? Your thoughts on tonight's game? Win a series, right? Minus 176. As easy as that?
Well, they got 2 games left, and it's tied, so they won't win the series with a win tonight. But
Friday is the Mets game. My fault. You're right.
That's okay. But I think that they will win tonight's game, and it's because Rangers pitching like the first half of last year. Rangers back to Mr. Ranger. I mean, you take out what he came out of that off the injured list. That first start against Arizona, he went 3 2/3, allowed 7 earned runs. Since then, he's pitched to a 1.16 ERA, Sean, and it's not even like he's getting crazy lucky. A lot of times you'll see that with like a FIP, a fielding independent pitching, way higher, where a guy's just getting lucky left and right. His FIP's still under 3. He's pitching incredibly. It doesn't matter who he's facing. Good lineup, bad lineup, doesn't matter. The guy has everything working right now, and I don't expect that to change against a really bad Miami Marlins team. I don't care how well the Marlins perform against the Phillies over these last few seasons. It doesn't matter to me. Ranger is the guy outside of Zach Wheeler right now, and he's going to continue that trend tonight.
Yeah, man, he really has been just awesome to see and making life a heck of a lot easier without Aaron Nola in the pitching rotation. Again, as Kyle just put very well there, last time out, 7 innings against the Blue Jays. 6 strikeouts. Of course, no runs given up in that game. Phillies won 8-0. Out in Pittsburgh when they got swept, he held them to 2 runs, but ended up getting the loss. Who cares about that as far as pitching is concerned? Went 7 innings there. Previous 2 before that, 6-6. Before that, 6-7-7. So this dude has been on point.
He's gone into the 7th in 6 of his last 7 starts.
Yeah.
It's a bullpen saver. It's a domination. It's a discouragement to the offense. You talk about the bullpen struggles. Well, what saves the bullpen? Having a guy go out there and throw 7 every time. You know that you can empty the tank on Tuesday night when you have Ranger going Wednesday. Just like you know you can empty the tank the night before you have Wheeler on the mound. You know those guys are going to go 7 every single time out, so you know you can be a little riskier with your pen the day before.
That is so good. What isn't good is Bryce Harper. A lot of people are feeling a little antsy on the timeline. What's your take on that? Because for me, I'm a guy that doesn't, read the tea leaves and, my intuition, my spidey sense. No, I trust what is being said. There were people out there. Luke Arcaney, I go to. Luke said, no, I wouldn't be surprised if he's out till All-Star break. Okay. That sucks. I believe it's the second week of July. I want to say trade deadline's 31st. I want to say the All-Star break is what? The second week of July?
Like the 14th, I think, this year.
Okay.
I'm not looking at the calendar, but that weekend.
And I know we talked about it last Wednesday because Harper was officially out, I want to say, when you hopped on the show or whatever it was, and he came back for the Blue Jays, hit that home run. We talked about maybe did they rush him back? But here we are, and it stinks. But I'm not there's a lot of people out there trying to is he going to be out for season? Are you even thinking about that at all right now?
Season, no.
Okay.
If you want to go through the All-Star break, sure. I think that is not a far-fetched possibility. Obviously, you'd like him back, but I also want him to be healthy. And I think that that's what the club wants too. I think that they know that June, while it's no longer early, it's not late either, right? You have some leeway right now where you can let him get as healthy as possible. And then hopefully some of these other guys pick up the slack, right? It's with the trade deadline looming, maybe that forces your hand a little bit depending on how quickly he can get back. But with it being a recurring injury, it seems from last season, you really want to be careful with this guy. Topper has said a couple times, especially when it comes to Harper, but he said it with other guys, is if you can play through the pain and not change anything, fine. But the moment you change your mechanics, now you're setting yourself up for long-term repercussions, whether it be in performance or re-injury or aggravating something else. And you want to avoid that. So I think that keeping him out of the lineup for as long as possible, and also kind of a domino, you get to see what you have in Matt Kemp finally, but allowing him to fully get healthy, fully get back before that August and September run into October, that's what this team needs to do. And they are strong enough and high-powered enough and a high payroll enough where they should be able to survive without him. And I don't get too bogged down into this. I don't think there's any more to look at into, or anything deeper to look at into this, let me say. But they are a winning team since signing him when he hasn't been in the lineup. Not saying that they would win without him. They are better with him than without him. There's no question. But that just proves that they are a good enough team and a good enough organization to survive those times where he's needed a break. And they should be with this high of a payroll. They should be with this high of expectations, with this many veterans, a team that can survive even a guy of Bryce Harper's caliber being out for a little while. And that's what the team is going to allow them to do.
Well said. Kyle Fisher, 45 on all things socials is where you can find him. And of course, does a great job for the fine folks over at Philly Sports Network. Be sure to give them a follow as well. Philadelphia SN. Philadelphia SN. All right. Could we switch gears real quick to the NFL? I ain't got you for the first hour. This time flies. So it's all right. Look at the clock. We're like, geez, man, we spent what did we even talk about for 38 minutes?
Well, when we're making jokes about my mic being muted and plugging sunscreen, we lose a little bit of time up front. But
what beach was your son at?
Wildwood.
All right, yeah, man. You gotta wear the sunscreen, man. It doesn't matter.
I tried to tell him.
Bro. That's all right. Well, now
I'm
we learned.
He's okay. That's all that matters.
Did you have to make? So where was the hospital trip? Down there or up here?
So he went, and I just stayed up just in case,
gotcha.
It was bad news, and I had to go down there and help him. So I was just at the ready, talking to him, texting him. Luckily, he had a really amazing friend who stayed with him all 4 hours he was at the ER. So while everybody else went back and either hung out or went to bed, those two were at the hospital just hanging out.
You know he was tailgating with White Claws in the parking lot. You know that's what he was doing, right? Like, yeah. I'm waiting for Young Fish is going to be done soon. I'm just going to have a couple. Nothing wrong with that. I can't.
Pace is a good driver, so maybe I don't know.
We
I don't
aren't
want to
of
put that on
age.
anybody, but
We aren't of age, so that's right. I don't want to say that. Okay, let's keep it moving here. Once again, Kyle Fisher with me. Over to the NFL. Couple quick ones here. Caught my attention. Josh Allen was asked about banning the tush push. And he said, the headline caught my attention. Josh Allen has message for those who wanted the tush push banned. Good article over at Yardbarker. And Buffalo Bills had success running a variation of tush push in recent years, so you could probably guess how Josh Allen felt about certain teams trying to ban the play this offseason. Though Jalen Hurts and Philadelphia Eagles are team most associated, Bills are taking advantage of the play with their own big body quarterback. We know how successful the Eagles are. Buffalo Bills, I believe, are number 2 with that play because of Josh Allen. Even though when they had to run it, when it mattered most, he didn't get it. Yeah. With that being said, I was like, wait a minute. He's got an issue with teams banning the tush push? Is my memory right? The Buffalo Bills voted to ban the freaking play. What is he talking about?
Yeah, his own coach.
His own coach.
Yeah.
What is that about? And I don't care, like, the reasoning. Is there anything that connects that's like, okay, now I see it, like I understand it? If your quarterback runs that play to have success to the point that it's being discussed like the Philadelphia Eagles, maybe not on that level, why in God's green earth are you trying to ban it? It makes zero sense.
I remember people specifically asking Sean McDermott, and he could not answer it. Now, granted, it was a small clip. I don't know what was said afterwards. But I remember it was in the offseason when they had first talked about the vote before it got delayed that first time. His big argument was player safety. So a reporter asked him, well, there's no data backing up that there's player safety. And also your team runs it a ton. So whether it gets banned or not, are you willing to stop running the play in the name of player safety to keep your players safe? And he couldn't answer the question.
Of course.
And clearly there's a disconnect, not saying it's some egregious disconnect and like there's going to be issues in Buffalo, but if your own quarterback is like, why are we banning this thing? And you're out here pushing to ban it. Clearly there's some misunderstanding between the two. I don't know if he felt like he had to be a good guy. We know his history publicly. So I don't know what the urge is to feel like he had to ban it, but it is kind of funny that Josh Allen basically publicly disagreed with his coach. Without saying that specifically.
I believe Sean McDermott heard it, right? Didn't he come to a Philadelphia sporting event and people were heckling him? I know Tim McDermott, who runs the Philadelphia Union, is his brother. Tim's a great dude. Never met Sean, but Sean has Philadelphia Eagles history. Everything that you ever heard about Sean McDermott was awesome. I love the Bills. Actually pulled for the Bills. I have an AFC question we're going to get into in a second. But that one struck me a little bit, man. What's going on? That makes zero sense. Somebody tweeted me earlier and they said that it had to do with ownership. Real quick. Again, like I said, nothing makes it connect to the point that I'm like, oh, now I get it. And I don't even know. Can you trust Smarty Jones? Can you trust a horse? He said reportedly one of the reasons they pushed the vote was because owners were far more supportive of banning it than players and coaches.
I mean, that was a big thing. That's what everybody said about Goodell. Like Goodell kind of wanted it banned. So that's why they delayed that vote initially, because he didn't have as many people as he thought on his side. That's what a lot of talking heads have said. I haven't heard that. I don't have enough inside sources in the NFL to confirm that. But I mean, it's his comment lines up exactly with what I've said, and what a lot of players seem to feel is that if you want to stop the tush push, then go on the field and stop it.
Yeah.
If you don't want people to do this, then figure out a way to stop them from doing it. I actually didn't care if the play got banned. But as an Eagles fan, I didn't care if the play got banned because at one point, what was it? They used to call it the Bush push, right? Reggie Bush, they used to do it with him in college and when he first came to the league, and then they changed the rule to not allow pushing or pulling, and then they changed it back. So if you wanted to go and just say at one point, hey, this was illegal. Yeah, we don't have the data to back it up, but we feel like it makes the game more interesting. And we are concerned about, while we don't have data yet, that it could be an injury risk. we just feel like it's better for the game if we go back to how the rule used to be.
Yeah.
That, to me, I go, okay, great. All right, wash my hands of it. But it's this nonsense that people are coming up with that makes me feel like, okay, I don't know what the reasoning is, whether it's Goodell or people calling it rugby or whatever else you want to say. It never made sense to me why they would want to ban the play in the first place.
And right hand in the air, I apologize. I brought it up. I know nobody wants to talk about this anymore, but that one hit me. I'm like, wait a minute, Josh Allen, like he was quoted. He said, quote, "I'm a big believer. If you can't stop it, keep running it," right? Like, dude, your team tried to ban this. What am I missing? Anyways, let's not waste any more time.
I agree.
It's so stupid. All right. One other item caught my attention. This is over NFL.com. Talking about teams that most improved this offseason. Now, it's tough to sit here and say it, and, to each their own. There are people that live and die by the draft. We got a couple of them here, McClay, Mark Henry Jr. I know you cover the NFL extensively. You're dialed in on depth charts, all that. I get it. But we're a long way to go until we see who's who and what's what. With that being said, it's fun. It's June conversation here. It's fun. So NFL.com cooks this up. They listed 6 teams. I'm only going to talk about one. And it was the Washington Commanders, where they're trying to pitch me the idea that they got better this offseason. And again, putting the draft to the side, that's cool. They bring up the fact that they brought in Laramie Tunsil and Deebo Samuel. And that is why, and they list the draft class too here, but it's in side print. But veteran additions is their main push. Commanders entered the offseason clear goal, capitalize on newfound success, and do so fearlessly. Trades for Deebo Samuel and Laramie Tunsil gave them 2 proven veterans to bolster an offense headlined by 2024, of course, Rookie of the Year, Jaden Daniels. Now, there are ways things could go awry. Samuel struggled to stay healthy enough to consistently produce in San Francisco in recent years, and Tunsil allowed 52 pressures in 2024, the most for him in a season since 2018, according to Next Gen Stats. So they're like making the case, but I don't know. Even if all right, I guess you add a piece to your offensive line, of course. Like we saw that last year with Becton, right? Like I could use him as an example. Yeah, he was great. The expectations were low. You thought he would perform, but he was even better than what anybody could guess.
Oh, yeah.
And Jeff Stoutland, we trust. So I get it. Deebo Samuel, cool. Like Deebo was a badass. If you get Deebo Samuel to play his position and his style, all right. But like to say that they are absolutely going to be more improved because of those 2 signings, I don't know. I wasn't really vibing with that. Where do you stand on that?
Well, to me, you have to combine the draft. We talked about a little bit ago, I think not recently, but a few weeks, maybe a month or 2 back about who improved in the offseason after the draft. And I said Washington at the time. And I still stick by that. You have Daniels, who's another year under his belt, good coaching staff, good system. Even if Deebo's not the perfect guy or the perfect receiver that people thought he would be, he's a weapon. And if they can create open space for him, he can do a lot of damage. And what do you want to do with a young quarterback? You want to protect him. You want to give him extra time. And especially a guy with his athleticism, if you give him extra time, not only does that allow him to read the field better, which was great at last season, but it allows him to use his legs, get out, and if he can't find something downfield, explode for a few himself. And they didn't just add Laramie Tunsil. They also added a first round pick as a lineman. They added a lot of defensive depth in maybe 1-year signings, a lot of them, but still they added a lot of depth on the defensive end, which was their problem last season. And they added some linemen. How can you not be excited about one of the more exciting young quarterbacks in the league getting some extra help on the offensive end and some extra protection? To me, I don't think that's crazy far off to say that they're one of the more improved teams.
Okay. Great conversation. Good take by you on that one. Kyle Fisher 45 on socials. If you disagree, I like it. I think you do have to include the draft, and that does change it up just a little bit. As I said, they did include it. They have the side part 2025 draft class. So it's kind of in, but it's not a part of the paragraph, the explanation. So you're probably right on that when you have to include it all. It is the offseason. It's a pretty damn big piece of it as well. Other teams, just to get your take on it, if you feel passionately about any of these teams, the Jets, of course, Aaron Glenn, I think automatically improves it. I really do. Like I'm a Aaron Glenn guy. We'll see what he does. But they go on a couple players, and it's specifically quarterback at Justin Fields. Any thoughts on that? Really improving for the New York Jets this offseason?
I don't know what kind of needle Justin Fields moves at this point. He didn't show me much in Pittsburgh. He showed a little bit in Chicago, but not enough for Chicago to keep him, right? They moved on. They could have used that early first round pick to either trade to get more assets to build around him, or they could have taken a high leverage weapon, high leverage protection for him. And they said, we'll pass. That, to me, that's a sign that all you need to know. The Steelers had him in there for one season under a veteran guy with a similar skill set, and they once again said, we'll pass. When have the Jets picking up a quarterback off the scrap heap paid off for them? Like, I know that it's a different system, but that seems to be the trend with this organization, regardless of who the head coach is, regardless of who the offensive coordinator is. To me, that doesn't do anything for me. So until the Jets improve in the win column, I don't care what kind of additions or subtractions they make. I have no faith in that team until they show me otherwise.
All right, I'll tweet out the article and other teams that were mentioned. New England Patriots, of course, with Milton Williams signing from the Philadelphia Eagles, with Stephon Diggs, if he can stay off the boat with the pink stuff. Drake May, of course, another year there, but not including him in this discussion. So it's interesting there. They brought up the Minnesota Vikings and the Las Vegas Raiders, who did bring in a bunch of new pieces, including Geno Smith, new coach, and, of course, Genty at the running back position. So football season inching closer, and we'll end on this one, Kyle Fisher, because I'm wondering where we're at, right? I saw on my way in, Ravens just signed Alexander, former Green Bay Packer, I believe, right? All right.
Yes, sir.
And Lamar was quoted. It was the first time he spoke since they were eliminated at Buffalo, and a game that you were on the sideline for, which he spoke after the game. They made it seem like he didn't speak. And I'm like, wait a minute. Yeah, he did. Anyways, it's the first time we're hearing from him. Of course, he's out for vengeance, I believe is the word he used. I'm just curious, on June 18th, Kyle Fisher, like I need new. I said this many, many years ago, and I was right on. I was spot on with it, where I'm like, I need new blood at the quarterback position. This league is starving for new blood. This was before Mahomes, right around Mahomes that came on and busted on the scene. I didn't have Mahomes doing what he has done, right? I was saying we need some new blood. We need some new blood at the most important position at quarterback. I can't take Joe Flacco, who's still in the league. Probably going to be started. Like, I can't. Like, we need new blood. And now I'm not at the point where it's like as drastic, but I'm begging. I'm begging for something new out of the AFC. Of course, it starts with knocking off the Chiefs, but we need something other than the Bills and the Ravens to grasp onto and hope, right? I thought the Houston Texans would have been that team last year. Maybe CJ Stroud, a little sophomore slump, and he'll bounce back. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I was a little too high on the Texans. That's probably more right than anything. But I need something new out of the AFC. Me personally, I don't care what everybody else says. Is there anything new in the AFC for you? Is it Drake May and the Patriots to watch out for? Is it a team that nobody's talking about? Or are we looking at a season where it's going to be, fingers crossed, the Ravens and the Bills will get another opportunity in the AFC Championship game against the Chiefs and probably going to come up short?
Yeah, I mean, are the Chargers new if they take another step and make noise in the playoffs? I think that I like what Harbaugh's doing there, and how can you not like Justin Herbert? The guy has all the raw talent you need, and with a legit coach in Harbaugh, I could see them taking another step.
No, hang on. Time out. I need a 20. I need you to look me in the eye and say, dude, it's the Chargers. They're going to step up. That's what I need, man. Give me something here. Is it the Chargers? Is it Harbaugh? Coach Harbaugh, his khakis, going to lead them to the promised land. I can buy in. I like Justin Herbert. Hopefully Sean Bedard's not listening. I do. Sell it to me, Kyle Fisher, please.
Let's go, Justin Herbert. The Chargers are getting it done. After all this time, Sean, you want me to yell? You want me to get beat red? I'll do it.
I love it.
Herbert, the mighty H's, going to the AFC playoffs, making some noise. Let's go, Sean Brace. Let's get it done. The Khakis are ruling it all in the AFC.
That's what I'm talking about, Kyle Fisher. That's what I needed to hear. That's what I needed to hear right there. I want you to sell it to me. I know.
We got to do that once a week.
Yeah.
Once a week, we have Kyle Yell's segment. That's what we need.
and we'll call it "Sell Me This Pen." That's the name of the segment. All right.
I got it.
So you sell me on the Chargers. Why not? Right? Let's believe that there could be some potential new blood in the AFC coming out of there. I'm sure people are saying it about the Philadelphia Eagles on the NFC side. Of course, we're biased here. We don't want any of that. But as far as futures are concerned, right now on DraftKings Sportsbook, having a little bit of a problem pulling up what the hell my futures are here. But where the Chargers are listed, let's go with team wins for the Chargers. And the Chargers currently right now, should have known you were to go there. I had this ready. 9.5 is their win total at -110. And as far as to make the playoffs on the yes, now they made the playoffs last year. They're -140. Okay. So we got wins. We got that. Where the hell are the futures? Give me the futures. That's all I'm looking for. Here we are. All right. Super Bowl champions, Chargers 25-1. They're behind the Rams. They're behind the Bengals. They're behind the Packers, the 49ers, Commanders, Lions, Chiefs, Ravens, Bills, Eagles. Is that right where you have them?
Somewhere in that range, yeah. I mean, I have to look at everybody in a more total picture of everybody.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, that sounds about right. Kind of like that second to third tier of teams. I'm not including any of the teams at the bottom. I'm talking legitimate, whatever the top 20 teams. They're in that second, maybe edge of the second, third tier of those top 20 teams with a legitimate shot to make the playoffs. So I'd put them somewhere in there, but I think that they have the potential to take that next step. And if they play in a weak division, and if Herbert can get anywhere close to only throwing 3 picks again like he did last year, I mean, how can you argue against it?
Justin Herbert, waving my flag here, my American flag for Justin Herbert. Get it done. All right, Kyle Fisher. Once again, Kyle Fisher 45 is where you can find him on socials. What are you working on right now, Kyle? What can people read you? What do you got working on?
So didn't get a chance to do it. So the same piece last week is what I'm going to be working on the next couple of days. I'm hoping to have it out by the weekend. Might wait until after the Mets series because there's been some reports that they might be looking at some of the same position players or relievers at the deadline. So I may see how that goes first to determine the desperation. But my guy Matt Watson at PSN just put out 3 players that the Phillies should target that people aren't necessarily talking about. I'm going to be working on one where, although a lot of GMs don't like to do this, 2-for-1 deals. What teams can they target that'll fit 2 holes as opposed to 1? So that'll be something that we can look at either over the weekend or early next week.
Philly Sports Network, once again, Kyle Fisher. Sell me this pen. You're the best, Kyle. Appreciate it. We'll catch up later this week. Enjoy the games, and always a pleasure, sir. Thank you.
Talk to you next week.
There he is. Great stuff from Kyle right there. And on the other side, Colby Marcio is going to be joining me. The Juice. Yeah, we keep it going here on the Daily Ticket. A little hump a day edition. Colby is going to join us. We'll talk a little bit more about the Nick Castellanos situation, focusing on a little Major League Baseball. We had some fireworks out there in LA. Did you see that last night? Shohei took one on the ass cheek. Oh, you can't touch Shohei. Remember, we were talking about this Padres and Dodgers rivalry. Is there any chance that these two teams, especially if they continue to throw at each other and their stars, for that matter, could potentially be the number 1 rivalry in baseball? Any chance that the Sox and Yanks could be taken over for the 1 spot as far as Major League Baseball rivalries are concerned, or is it just a foregone conclusion? Nothing will ever change. It's always going to be Sox and Yanks. We'll talk more about that. Of course, we'll focus on the Phillies. Got some other fun stuff for Colby. A lot of juice, a lot of energy. More Daily Ticket after this.
Our iHeartRadio Music Festival,
presented by Capital One,
is coming back to Las Vegas.
September 19th and 20th. Streaming live only on Hulu.
And you can be there
for a weekend full of superstar performances, never before seen collaborations, and once in a lifetime artist moments you'll have to see to believe. Tickets are on sale now at AXS.com. Get your tickets today at AXS.com. And we'll see you at our 2025 iHeartRadio Music Festival.
Presented by Capital One.
Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. Now, total traffic for Philadelphia.
Packed on the wall, Whitman into New Jersey. Back up begins at Passyunk. Continues up to and across the bridge down the 42 south of Creek Road. 95 northbound jam Bartram. to Penn's Landing and Vine Expressway to Bridge. Westbound Schuylkill crawling Bear to the Vine Expressway. Artotella total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. When you're trying to find quality candidates, all the searching, screening, and interviewing can become a job itself. You need Indeed, the all-in-one platform that makes it easy to interview, screen, and hire quality people. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Stuck in the same day-to-day routine? Wake up, go to work, eat, sleep, repeat? Break through the boredom this summer and download Call of Duty Mobile for free. Enjoy fan-favorite maps, modes, and operators from classic Call of Duty titles, plus new mobile-exclusive content. Today doesn't have to suck. Cure your boredom for free with Call of Duty almost anywhere, anytime. Call of Duty Mobile is available on both the Apple App Store and Google Play Store for free today. Rated M for mature.
Caroline Barrega had it all: a loving husband, thriving kids, and meaningful work. Then, her police officer husband's secret infidelity and abuse of his badge were exposed. In season 4 of the Betrayal podcast, she confronts his deception and the police department that overlooked his misconduct.
The kids and I thought we were living this life of love and a family. Never did I think that anything like this was going on behind our backs.
Open your free iHeartRadio app, search Betrayal, and listen now.
Run a business and not thinking about radio? Think again. Because more people are listening to the radio on iHeart today than they were 20 years ago. And only iHeart Broadcast Radio connects with more Americans than TV, digital, social, any other media. Even twice as many teens than TikTok. And that reach means everything. Just think about the universal marketing formula. The number of consumers who hear your message times the response rate equals the results. Now let's get those results growing for your business. Radio's here now more than ever, and iHeart's leading the way. Think radio can help your business? Think iHeart. Streaming, podcasting, and radio, where the reach is real. Let us show you at iHeartAdvertising.com. That's iHeartAdvertising.com. Or call 844-844-iHeart. One more time, just call 844-844-iHeart and get radio working for you.
iHeartRadio just gave driving an upgrade with Presets, now on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Your go-to stations, podcasts, and playlists, all just a tap away on your dash. Start your engine, hit play, and drive happy. Free with iHeartRadio on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto.
With great deals coming this Prime Day, July 8th through the 11th, greatness is a deal away. So if you love baking, you can get a deal on a new mixer, transforming you into the Lord of the Loaves.
Hear ye, make way for the baron of brioche, the sultan of sourdough, the lord of the loaves, prime member Dave!
Yeah, hi?
Shop great deals this Prime Day, July 8th through the 11th. With great deals coming this Prime Day, July 8th through the 11th, greatness is a deal away. So if you love baking, you can get a deal on a new mixer, transforming you into the Lord of the Loaves.
Hear ye, make way for the baron of brioche, the sultan of sourdough, the lord of the loaves, prime member Dave!
Yeah, hi?
Shop great deals this Prime Day, July 8th through the 11th.
Hey, man, you all right? Need me to call 911? No, call Top Dog Law. Get top dollar for your accident at topdoglaw.com. Once again, that's topdoglaw.com.
You see what I see, love?
Her grandson splashing his mom with a cannonball?
You. Having heart failure is hard enough, but now you're having trouble opening the sunscreen. Carpal tunnel acting up again?
Yep, and there are my stomach issues. And how tired I am. I could use a nap.
Let's take a dip, and then we're calling your cardiologist to see what's going on, okay?
If you have heart failure and something's off, it may be ATTR-CM or transthyretin cardiac amyloidosis. It's a serious heart condition that gets worse over time. Vindamax, tafamidis, is a prescription pill taken once a day to treat adults with ATTR-CM to reduce death and hospitalization for heart problems. Tell your doctor about all your medications, medical conditions, and if you have liver problems or breastfeeding, pregnant, or plan to be. There are no known side effects with Vindamax. For prescribing information, call 1-877-278-9632. Learn more at Vindamax.com.
Seeing what I see? Ask your doctor about ATTRCM.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hey, it's Natalie Eggenoff with your Philly Sports Trips Sports Minute, your fast break of everything Philly sports. This segment is presented by Philly Sports Trips. Book your next game day experience at phillysportstrips.com. Phillies look to keep the momentum alive as they head down to Florida to face the Marlins. Manager Rob Thompson told reporters Harper will travel with the team. However, he still isn't hitting, and there's no timetable for his return. The battle for the NL East will heat up later this week when the Phils welcome the Mets to town. NBA Finals continue. Oklahoma City Thunder did not relent, held on for a 120-109 win against the Pacers in Game 5. Game 6 is Thursday night. Meanwhile, Sixers will prepare for the 2025 NBA Draft next week. 32 teams from across all 6 FIFA confederations are competing in the USA for the FIFA Club World Cup. Many games will take place at the link in South Philadelphia. The FIFA International World Cup will host games in Philadelphia in 2026. That's your Philly Sports Trip Sports Minute. Want to catch a game like a VIP? Tailgates, travel, tickets, they do it all. Visit phillysportstrips.com and make your next trip unforgettable.
This Sports Minute was presented by Philly Sports Trips, premium travel and tailgating experiences for the passionate fans of Philadelphia. With exclusive parties, luxury tailgates, and VIP access to the best fan experiences around, go to phillysportstrips.com today and book your next trip. That's phillysportstrips.com.
Shop Mattress Firm's July 4th sale and reclaim your restless nights. Choose from a curated premium selection of mattresses to find just the upgrade you're looking for. Get matched, sleep at night.
Hey, this is Lincoln Kennedy. Here's what's trending on the iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by Mercedes-Benz.
The college football playoff could undergo at least one major change this week. There's support now for expanding that field from 12 to 16 teams. The Phillies' Nick Castellanos could be back in action tonight in Miami after a one-game benching for mouthing off to manager Rob Thompson. The benching snapped Castellanos' consecutive game streak. And Ranger Suarez starts on the mound for the Phils there. The lefty tossed 7 scoreless innings in his last outing. I'm Scott Davidson.
The Mercedes-Benz Dream Days are back with offers on vehicles like the 2025 E-Class, CLE Coupe, C-Class, and EQE Sedan. Hurry in now through July 31st. Visit your local authorized dealer or learn more at mbusa.com/dream.
Number 1 on your car radio preset and the new and improved iHeart Radio app. WDAS and WD273D Philadelphia is Fox Sports Radio, the Gambler.
Oh, yeah. We're revving it up. We're going too wide. Rubbin's racing. If you ain't first, you're last. Colby Marcio joining us live right now in the Gambler Street. We're talking a little Phillies. And unfortunately, I have to go back to that update from the Fox Sports National guy, Nick Castellanos. Come on, bro.
That's his name. That's his name.
Bro. If you're going to be the national update guy, you have to get the names right. Castellan, dude,
I would love him to pronounce my name. I would love for him to pronounce my last name. Yeah, we got Kobe Marciano coming on up on the next hour.
God, dude. What is happening, Colby? Everything is bright and shiny in your world, man. Love the pup videos. Love the reaction to the dingers. Of course, your boy out there, Cal Raleigh, still doing it big. How you been, man?
Great. Just a little FYI to anyone that follows me, just know anytime I make those videos after a home run, my girlfriend hates every 20 seconds of it. So she's the most turned off woman for 20 seconds after those videos are made. So she hates my guts when those are going on. But who cares? Who cares? I don't. That's my job. It's my job. Sorry for those ears, but it's my job.
Timeline loves it.
Of course.
I
tell people she'll see that she follows me. I'm shocked she doesn't mute me or block me. She follows me and she'll go, 50 likes? Who? I go, I paid for those.
Good work by you on that one. Now, who gets more like scared of those videos, the pup or your girlfriend?
The pup loves them. So she knows when they're going on because I guess she feels my like energy coming out of me because I'm revving up. It's a 1-take video. If I do 2 takes, it's because my finger slipped off a Snapchat trying to lock it in. So it's a 1-take Johnny every single time for the most part. But I am like, oh, where's she at? So I can think about how I'm going to do this video because I don't want to be anywhere near her.
That's hysterical. I love it. Yeah. I mean, look, anyone that has a significant other, that's probably the same way that they're going to react to it as well. Keep them going. Of course, Major Juice, 4:00 hour here in the Daily Ticket. A lot to get to. I did play a little rev in there. You ever been to a NASCAR race, Colby?
No, I've never gone. I grew up near the Chicago Speedway. So that's in my hometown, actually, which is weird. It's nowhere near Chicago. It's an hour south. It's in Joliet, Illinois, home of Mike Allstott, George Mikan, Rudy, all of them. Yeah, Rudy went to my high school. Rudy went to my high school.
What?
Yeah, his brother was our strength coach. He's like 5'1".
Stop it.
Sure to God, his gym was like the football team's like gym, and it wasn't even connected to school. It was like another town over, and no one paid. Everyone's like, yeah, make sure you pay your dues. No one paid.
He's living up the name. I love it. That's good work by him on that one. Mike Allstott, maybe one of the greatest fullbacks to ever play the position in the NFL history. You got to love that as well. Him and Warwick Dunn tore it up for the Tampa Bay Bucks and then some. But I bring up NASCAR because I will be in attendance for the Pocono 400 going on Sunday and making the trip up due to the fact that your boy got a call over here. Governor Shapiro, everybody loves him. Good dude here in Pennsylvania, doing great things, getting S done. Hit me up. There's people over there, not Governor Shapiro. That'd be really cool if he did. If he doubted me.
I was going to say, humble brag. Humble brag.
Oh, you want to come? So we're going to go up. Bernard's going up with me, co-host over here on The Gambler, and we're going to have some fun. Looking forward to that. And, of course, Governor Shapiro doing big things with us here. That's pretty cool stuff there.
They make a lot of left turns, big if true.
Yeah.
Big if true.
Well, I'll tell you what, I've been to 2 races before, and it's pretty cool.
I feel like it's a hype environment. Am I wrong?
Yeah.
I'm very ignorant would be the correct term of my fandom with NASCAR. Ignorant.
You're spot on because it is loud, dude. The sound of those cars, it's crazy. I think they idle. Like, just get off the gas, it idles at like 50. Like, it is so loud. Like, you just feel it. And it's going to be pretty cool. So beautiful weather here finally on the East Coast, and looking forward to it. All right. Looking forward to our conversations. Let's start here in our backyard of Philadelphia. Colby, of course, Phillies ended up losing a tough one last night. Big topic, though, putting the loss to the Marlins to the side is the fact that Nick Castellanos.
I was gonna do it if you didn't.
Had something to say to the manager, Rob Thompson, in the previous game that they won. He was pulled out in the 8th inning for Rojas, who is a better defensive player out there in the outfield, and Casti. We'll go with Casti. He was not a fan of the move. And Casti, look, at the end of the day, it's not a big deal. Managers and players argue. People get benched. Oh, well, you move on. They play 162. The reason why this is significant, Colby, is the fact that Casti just broke a consecutive game streak at 236, where I think he's now number 2 on the list for Phillies all time, only behind Mike Schmidt, I believe. I think he passed out J-Roll. Mike Schmidt was next on the list at 3-something, so obtainable, I believe, over the next year. He's got another year on the 4-year contract. So his streak comes to an end at 236. So that makes it a talking, or at least a topic of conversation. How would you have handled it, Colby Marcio? Would you have sided with Thompson here and like, hey, man, you got to police the team. This is your squad. You can't be showing up. And he crossed the line. You got to do what you got to do here. Or would you say, you know what? Cooler heads prevail. My guy's my guy. He's got a streak, and that streak must continue.
I'm going to take a quick left turn right now. No pun intended with the NASCAR talk. But when I found out that it like ended his streak, I'm like, I haven't heard nor thought anyone cared about that type of stuff in the last 20 years because nobody plays every single day anymore. And if they do, it's like, oh, wow, really? And it's a second thought. Like, there's no Cal Ripkins anymore. We got Cal Rileys now. Do I have the softest generation? I don't know, because we claim to have the best technology, but no one's playing every single day. But Cal Ripken played every day. And those were car salesmen if he was playing in the NBA. So, anywho, back to what you said. My favorite part about this whole thing was what the old skipper said. One of the many things I like or love about Nick is that he's very emotional. Love that quote, because he's just like putting him in timeout by benching him. When I'm just trying to process, Castellanos is one of those unique guys. He's not the best interviewer. be whatever you want to be. That's fine. Not everyone's made for the press. Not everyone's made to be the face of whatever. He definitely had one of those moments where he's mouthed off to his boss, quote unquote, and a little bit too much got out. We've all been there. We've all been there. We've all wanted to say something about a former boss, current boss, whatever. Maybe he went a little too far, but the beauty thing is he's still going to get paid a lot more money than I'm going to get paid today.
You're damn right about that, man.
So he's definitely in like a timeout thing. It's kind of weird. I would love to know. It's kind of like J.R. Smith throwing the soup. What kind of soup was it? What did he say? I want to know.
J.R. Smith's soup of choice. Now he's a different character. He plays golf. I like JR. I've always been a fan of JR.
Love JR.
Do you have a go-to soup?
Not homemade. You're not a soup. I can't stand people that aren't soup people.
Not a soup guy.
If I'm at like a diner, cream of chicken. Because it's so well done at a diner. So well done. If I do it at home, it's like, how do I do it at the diner? Weird soup, I get.
That's crazy.
I'm a diehard turkey club guy. Diehard turkey club. So it's always coming with a soup.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. Are you a soup guy in hot months during the summertime?
No, not really.
Okay.
Not
All
really.
right.
But I'm not going out of my way to. I don't make a soup. I enjoy making French onion soup. That's fun to make in the winter.
Oh, look at you.
Would you argue chili's kind of a summer? It's not a soup, but it's in the family. It's a cousin,
Yeah.
the weird cousin. The weird cousin. It's like a stew.
Yeah. It's a neighbor.
Whatever chili is.
Yeah, I'm more of a chili guy during football season, definitely.
Mhm.
Right. But man,
I'm thinking hot dogs. But I'm thinking hot dogs and chili. That's the summer thing.
Now we're cooking, baby. Now we're cooking.
They flow. They
Cooking with
flow.
Colby. Are you a cooker? Are you a chef? Are you in the kitchen?
If I'm not cooking, the house doesn't eat. I make every meal. I love cooking. I'm not saying I'm the world's greatest cook, but I can see a meal and be like, I can make that.
All right, I need a 20 here because on Monday, Colby takes to the timeline and has this unbelievable idea of, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and stop eating, and I am only going to consume watermelon, and that's it. And
Watermelon and water.
Watermelon and water, no solid foods, and I where did this come from? Why and how long did it last?
Oh, you're gonna love this. The people are gonna love this. I know we're not talking sports, but who cares about sports? We're talking about the watermelon challenge. We're talking about the watermelon challenge right now.
That's right.
So my girlfriend on Sunday, I believe, or Saturday goes, this woman had watermelon and water for 3 days. I go, I could do that. She goes, well, we can do it Monday because we're doing something on Sunday. I'm like, okay, we can do it on Monday. We go and get like this 50-pound watermelon. It might have been 30 pounds. I don't know. I'm a weakling. No, I'm not. Humble brag. And I'm like, this is going to be a breeze. Like I could easily get through the day. Easily. So we're like, okay, today we're going to do it. My girlfriend is she's a oh my God, can't think of the word. Nurse case manager. So she goes on appointments and whatnot. She had an appointment. She took some watermelon in the car. Keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, listening, my girlfriend doesn't eat breakfast. Her first meal of the day ranges from noon to 2 in the afternoon. She's a 2-meal day or 1, and it's dinner. She didn't make it to noon. She didn't make it to noon. She came back from the appointment with deli supplies. She made a sandwich, Sean, because she said her hand smelled like French fries and she couldn't get over it. Where the hell did your hand smell like French fries at a doctor's appointment? Explain that to me, Jessica. Explain that to me. I was screwed over at 30:00 Monday. Your boy lasted till 6 o'clock yesterday. So 30-something plus hours from Sunday night to yesterday dinner time. I could have done it till today. I could have made it till today. Thank you.
Pouring round of applause there.
I could have made it to today, but that 1 to 2 o'clock yesterday, I was dying. And I went to the store to get the pizza supplies because I made pizza yesterday, homemade. No brags here. It looks beautiful, tasted beautiful. If I didn't get the supplies, I could have made it through. Because after I did my baseball show, the Pickoff on Betting News, free ad.
Damn right.
I was like, I could do this. And then I realized you're about to make the best meal of your life after not eating for 30 plus hours. So I ended it. I think I'm going to do it every Monday. Or just fast every Monday because it wasn't that bad. I will say headache galore yesterday. And I don't need caffeine. I do just like the taste of black coffee. I guess that's what it's from, but I kind of had it the night of Monday, and it kind of felt like that slight hangover headache you get. I don't really get hangovers, but I get a headache if I don't have enough water. And I was like, this is annoying, but at least I'm not starving.
The watermelon challenge on the timeline, I was cracking up. You're fasting, and
I considered it a fast because I'm basically just drinking sugar water if I eat it.
That's it. Yeah. I did it once. I did like 2 days, and it wasn't difficult. What did I do? I was just straight water. I was doing water. Fasted for 2 days. But you're right. Did have the headache. But watermelon is a little interesting there. I mean, I feel like I could live off a watermelon for 3 straight days.
And this is coming from a guy who will eat a meal and be thinking about the next 3. So I'm always thinking about what's next. So I love food, love making food. Former thick guy, was fat in high school. They called me the Michelin Man. Yeah.
Okay.
Former moob guy. Former moob.
I am a current moob guy. I'm trying.
Hey, no, the listeners, no, I'm not going to take that. I've seen you work out. I'd be dead.
No, I'm telling you right now.
Headband and all.
Oh, yeah.
I get you.
I'm dripping everywhere. It's in my eyes. I can't see. I'm telling you, the moves are there for some odd reason. It's like I had somebody say to me the other day, don't you work out? And I said, yeah, damn it. Don't judge me. Bottom line is my cholesterol is lower than you. All right, bud? Yeah, maybe I still got moves and I'm not exactly the most muscular, but I work out every morning and I feel good.
That's all that counts.
That's it.
All that counts.
One quick one on watermelon real quick, because we have a gentleman by the name of Ty. When I first started, a couple of years ago, when I first met him, he attempted to break the Guinness Book of World Records to eat the most amount of watermelon in a certain amount of period, right? So we set up this stream, whole 9, unbelievable. So he's going in. It seemed, I forget exactly what the number was, how many pounds it was, but it seemed like, okay, obtainable. Let's just put it that way, to a point. Then you see it in front of you, you're like, all right, I don't know. And he starts firing it down. All of a sudden, it stopped. And then that thing, like The Exorcist on the screen. It was awesome. It was awesome. In the face. I was cracking up, dude. He attempted to eat all that watermelon. Watermelon's tasty, especially this time of year, and I feel like we could all survive a day or two just going down on some watermelon. Great stuff 100%. There, Colby. All right, let's keep moving. Casty, not Castellanos, back in the lineup tonight. Ranger Suarez. Colby, this is interesting from Ranger. Last 7 starts, I want to say, 7th inning or 6 innings or more. He is really, really reliable. Is that how you view Ranger Suarez? Again, he's on the mound tonight going up against the Marlins. Should be a victory. They have another game in this series tomorrow. -176 favorites here. 8.5 is our total. 6:40 first pitch. Ranger Day is what we say here in Philadelphia. What are your thoughts on Ranger Suarez, Colby?
I like the guy. I don't know too much about his game. I'm not going to sit here and act like I know him really well. I just know he's a very consistent guy that's been throwing for many years. I think it's a great spot for the whole team to get back after that loss yesterday. I don't like Schwarber today. As everyone knows, I love my Muse.
Whoa.
He does have a good rating today, but I don't like the pitches match up with him. He's like 50%. So I'm like, I don't want to take a chance. So if you want to take a chance on your favorite thick man, take him, because I'm not going to be on him. It might be me just missing out being a day early. The day after theory, I liked him yesterday. Not today, but Castellanos being back in the lineup may be a little morale boost after he's fired up, at least for being benched. He might be fired up. He might be ready to prove everyone wrong that he should never be benched. And yesterday, them losing, maybe he feels good about it. Maybe not.
6-1 plus 600 tickle your fancy there to go yard for Casty.
Did anything bad happen? I hate that joke. I hate that. Well, it's so annoying. It's so annoying. Yes, I was going to send it to you. I was going to say, I know what you're going to say. We don't need to talk about it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not funny. It's not funny.
Put him in the lineup. Put him in the lineup. No, it's not funny.
No, it's not funny. It's not funny. It's only funny because of everyone, all the idiots are like, no, it's a weird coincidence. It's the weirdest one of all time.
Yes, it is. All right, Trey Turner, real quick on this, because I'll tell you what, the other week, like 3 weeks ago, I was like talking to my buddy, excuse me, it was Luke Arcaney who covers the Phillies for us here on the station. And I brought up, hey, man, Francisco Lindor, MVP. And he was like, the Mets hate came out. And he's like, come on, stop it. He's a good player. He's playing well. Mets are winning, blah, blah, blah. And he made other points about MVP. And I was like, yeah, I can see that. You're probably right. So don't waste your money. At the end of the day, I do have a Kyle Schwarber MVP that's probably not going to cash. But oh well, made that early at a bar.
He's playing well. He's hitting a better average than we all expected him.
I thought if he hit 50 bombs and they were in first place and they win the division, like I got a shot.
Sean's like 50. That's a breeze. Anyone can do that.
He's halfway there. So the Trey Turner discussion, when it comes to Lindor, I'm like, wait a minute. If I'm going to praise Lindor 2 weeks ago, dude, Trey Turner deserves the love right now because he's playing better than Lindor stats-wise and maybe not so much glove-wise. The team is somewhat even as far as the win-loss is concerned. And look, he's just balling out right now. Trey Turner at the top of the lineup, being shifted around in that lineup now in the leadoff spot, hitting 2 for 4 last night, had a home run the night before. So I'm looking at Turner just riding that hot bat here. He's 6-1 to go yard. I love the total bases. I'm a total base guy. Anything for you on Trey Turner? What is your thoughts, outlook on him?
I haven't bet on him this season. I don't remember the last time I bet on him. I'm hoping he's back because he's fantastic when he's on fire. We remember him a couple years ago being on absolute fire before the season started with the World Baseball Classic. That was him, right? Yep. Absolutely on fire. He's great in that lineup when he's on fire. Everyone around him gets better. It's that top of the lineup. When they're hot, the Phillies are one of the most fun teams to watch. I really hope he's fully back because he's one of the most fun guys to watch. 5-tool guy. I didn't see anything to like him on today. Nothing grabbed me to even look at him, but I really hope he's fully back. But that's going to be a great fight if it's him and Lindor in the NL, even though you got Shohei over there.
Hello.
Now he's up and throwing.
Not all that well, but he is throwing. And
hey, somebody had the under the other day. Wink, wink. Somebody had the under.
Under on strikeouts, 1.5.
Oh, for an opener? Oh, that's my favorite bet. For an opener, under strikeouts, everyone's like, yeah, he's going to get it. He hasn't thrown since October of 23. Use your brain. Use your brain.
Colby Marceau, use your brain. Oh,
he's
that's
like
why
second best in K percentage over the last 14 days. Use your brain. Do your research. Why would the books be giving you plus money for 3 strikeouts? They want your money. I'm not a book guy like that, but when it's like something that's stupid, why would you bet somebody over? You could bet the 1.5. Fine. You want to take that sweat? Go right ahead. Over 2.5? Call the number. Call the number. You are out of your mind. You're already getting the good odds for the over 1.5. Call the number. You think he's going to have an immaculate inning? His first time back in 2 years? Use your brain.
28 pitches.
We've all been there, though. I'm not going to say I've never been there and fall for something like that. We've all been there. It's fun. Don't get me wrong. Being on that's fun, but you got to be comfortable with losing. And if you are, I'm cool with you betting on that.
Colby M. Betts. Colby M. Betts on socials. Mandatory follow if you don't already. The other one I would say on that was I thought they deserved a ton of credit. Somebody on my timeline was talking about the live wager in that spot and Shohei to lead off the inning with a strikeout as he did at plus 165. That was a good bet by whoever had it on my timeline.
That was wild. I was like, go figure. He has no strikeouts at the top and then strikes out at the bottom. I would have never thought to bet that, but to the geniuses out there that did, kudos to you.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. Now, let's stay in that division before we get to the Padres and Dodgers with the rivalry question. I want to ask you about the Rafael Devers trade and the fact that he is now with the San Francisco Giants and got a standing O, had Barry Bonds show up.
Double standing O. Double.
2 for 5.
I turned it off afterwards, so if there was 3, excuse me.
2 for 5 in a loss. They ended up losing 3-2 to the Guardians, but nobody cares about that. The story is the story. He was 2 for 5 in the DH spot in his opening game for the San Francisco Giants. Number one, your thoughts on the deal? Like, what the hell happened? And of course, San Francisco, yeah, they've had a great start. And Buster Posey, I love when somebody goes for it. But at the end of the day, what are we talking about as far as Devers with the Giants and that contract? Is that going to work out in the long run?
As a diehard Yankees fan since I was 8 years old.
And I like the green. I like. I like when you change it up. I have a different color of the.
So this said, so I have a little thing. It came with it. and this is why I bought it. It says, I don't watch baseball. I just really like this hat. Oh, I have to buy this. I have to buy this. But I loved it. I loved every bit of it, down to the Red Sox getting a bag of chips. Was the most funny trade I've seen in a long time. Maybe as funny as the Luka Doncic trade. I also don't like that comparison. I think it's just lazy. It doesn't make any sense. Do I have a good enough brain? Do I have a smart enough brain to think of a better comparison? No. I even thought about it in the shower, multiple showers. I've thought about it. I can't think of anything. Rafi's his own guy. It's funny that the Red Sox keep doing this. I was baffled that it happened after the Yankee series. I love him. I loved him in that City Connect jersey yesterday. That's also my favorite City Connect jersey at the moment. The Giants
Boston,
new one.
Yeah. Oh no,
the Giants new one. It's kind of like it kind of gives like Fresh Prince San Francisco vibes. I do like the Fenway Green Monster one, but that's another thing. I hate Boston though.
Yeah,
love the city. Love the city, but hate the sports teams. I love the Giants this season. They're so fun to watch. They're not really a high-powered team, but him in that lineup is something they've needed. He's going to be awesome, and he seems to be happy. The best thing he said in his opening presser was he'll play anywhere, even first, giving the double birds to Boston, saying, screw you. I'm in a new place, and now I'm happy, which is hysterical. My one friend tried to argue and saying maybe he thinks he messed up. No way in hell. No way in hell. If anyone messed up, it's the Red Sox for the way they went around upsetting the face of their team. You upset a guy you gave $300 million. Did I also yell at Rafael Devers for saying he wouldn't play first base while he's making money that I could never imagine even having in my pocket, bank account, insert whatever? Yes, because get your rear end out there. You could choose some chod, play first base. Get out there. But I love it. I can root for Rafi and not hate myself. So it's marvelous. I love the trade. Boston fans, not sorry. You can enjoy sucking a little bit longer.
Yeah, look, they were a really hot team. They swept the Yankees. And, of course, Yankees are going through a little bit of a lull right now. We'll talk a little bit about that in just a second. But bottom line is that was a really strange time. Pulled him off a flight. Comes back.
Yeah, they said, get off.
Yeah, they did. Looking at the City Connect jersey for the San Francisco Giants, not sure if I have seen these. I think I know I have, but they are sharp. They are sharp. We got to do a City Connect ranking. Are these top
They're
dogs?
Nice.
Are these number one?
I hate myself for saying this. I just love green. So the Red Sox green ones, they're up there for me. I had a friend say he'd buy one for me. I said, you can't do that. You can't.
Do you like the Phillies City Connect jerseys on Friday night when they wear that? It's like electric. It's like the blue a tip of the cap to Ben Franklin, I assume. I don't know.
You know, I can't even picture it, so I'm going to say no.
Okay. Yeah, exactly.
If I can't picture it, I hate the Rockies new ones. You go from that nice white and green to that. You went to Superman ice cream. What is that? It's disgusting.
Rockies hottest team in the league right now.
Yeah. The most fun team to watch in baseball. Watch out. Get your World Series tickets ready.
Yeah, do that. All right, let's talk a little bit about the fireworks in LA last night. You know what? You got my attention. Just like the WNBA with the scrap that they had last night. It's good for business. You're plugging Shohei and Tatis. Oh, now we're cooking. And somebody got hit the night before as well. Again, this was the discussion that was brought up by the manager for the Padres when he said, look, we are the best rivalry in baseball right now, our two teams. And that's fine. He could say what he wants. I just, as a Yankees fan, will anything ever overtake Yankee Sox? Are they close? And if we get more of what we saw last night between those two teams, do you think that's enough to catapult them into that discussion as the number one rivalry in baseball?
Now, I grew up having a lot of hatred for Boston sports. I still have it. But I've learned to kind of appreciate watching the Red Sox in the last, we'll just say this season. This season, I think they're enjoyable to watch. They have fun talent. Duran's awesome to watch. Crochet's awesome to watch. It's not the same Yankees, Red Sox as it was in the 2000s. Like, as a kid, I could burn, if I had a lighter, I would burn anything Red Sox. I hated the Red Sox. I hated Pedroia. I hated Ortiz. I hated Manny Ramirez. I hated all. You ask me now, Pedroia, that boy was scrappy. He was the most annoying little man, but he was so, looking back, he was unbelievable. Never struck out, put the ball in play like 80% of the time, if not higher. Nothing compares to that. Even go back to when it was Tyler Austin, where he got plunked by Joe Kelly. Like, that's the last time I feel like that rivalry really existed. And since then, it doesn't really matter. And some would, if you're a Yankees fan, some would say, well, what about the Astros? You never beat them.
Yeah.
You never beat them. That's not a rivalry. That's a rear end kicking. You got a can of whoop ass opening on you every time you played them. It was embarrassing. But this is beautiful. I'm glad you brought this up, because when they were in when they were in San Diego, it felt like it was October. It was jam-packed. The stadium was rocking. This is the first game of a series, and it felt like Game 7 of the NLDS, or CS, excuse me. It just felt like it mattered, which sometimes you don't get. 162 games, sometimes those games don't matter. I know basic baseball fans are like, yeah, this game don't matter. It felt like it mattered. I want that. I want to feel that. That's awesome. If the Yankees and Red Sox can pull that back, I feel like I'm 8 years old again. But what's great for the game, you mentioned it, same with the WNBA, that's great for the game. The more eyeballs, the better. And we know baseball is lazy as hell when it comes to getting the younger audience, which it's up. I saw that the numbers are up. The younger audiences are watching baseball, and I love it.
Yeah.
Get people like me, man, fired up about some ball and some bat.
Roaring round of applause. Colby bringing it as always.
I also saw, I got to say this because I was yelling. I saw your last hit with your guest, Mr. Fisher, right? Fisher, right?
Yeah, Kyle, yeah.
When he started yelling and you got it out of him, I'm like, yeah, the only time yelling and putting a point across works on the radio. It doesn't, if it's an argument, you sound like the dummy.
Yeah. Yes, I said, sell it to me, man. Sell it to me. Like, I'm dying for something new in the AFC. Please bring it to me. And he's like, all right, let me go ahead. And he did.
It's the Chargers. You're like, come
on, man. Exactly. You know what we're talking about here, Colby. You got to be theater of the mind. All right. Padres and Dodgers tonight. Dodgers pretty big favor here, minus 217, plus 170, plus 175 for the Padres. Game in LA, 10-10 first pitch. You know, you brought up that early series. You know what series got me going, got the juices going? I believe it was the Diamondbacks at the Bronx and early this season. There was a grand slam in that game late in the game.
Ranger Suarez. Yeah, I had his home run. That was the first one I hit this season. Great memory.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That was a great series. I was the only Yankees fan happy that a grand slam happened.
That's hysterical. Yeah. That series, that game had me going. And I'm like, wait a minute, looking at my calendar on my phone. I'm like, April 8th?
You pulled up that video of us. It's April.
It's April. Come on, pipe down. It's relaxed, Brace. It's only April. All right. Some other odds and ends before you get out of here. Real quick, as far as the Rookie of the Year awards are concerned, I know that there's a lot of conversation about some of these guys that are being brought up and some late arrivals. There was a new poll that was just released at Major League Baseball. First of all, are we talking about two favorites that are going to run away with that award at this point in time from the AL and the NL in your mind, Colby? Jacob Wilson is a pretty big favorite at minus 900 in the American League. Drake Baldwin plus 250, not running away with it at all. Shortstop for the Atlanta Braves at this point in time. Is there anybody that just got the call up that you have your eyes on that potentially could be a name that could win this award after it's all said and done this year?
You mentioned this when I was asking you what we were going to talk about, and I was looking at the odds because I haven't really looked at the Rookie of the Year odds. And somebody who I love watching, going back to the Dodgers, Ha-Seong Kim, 18-1. Is that? I know he's in the 9th spot, and maybe he gets overlooked because he's on a monster team. He is Mr. Consistent. In 30 games, he's batting .382 with a .969 OPS. He's so fun to watch. And they have to throw to him. Shohei's coming up. Yep. You can't walk him. You got to throw to him, which is honestly extremely dangerous because he's a very good player. And 18-1 seems like a good number. He's very fun to watch. If you've never heard of him, never seen him, go watch, because right afterwards you get to see Shohei. So it's back-to-back #fun. And I was baffled that he was 18-1, and he's played a ton of games. You mentioned to me your boy, Mr. Mickey, who's 25 to 1. And I think it's tough with a pitcher because the sample size is so small and it can change so quickly. Like he's only had 4 starts, I believe. And he's only given up 5 runs. He's played the Marlins, Cubs, and Blue Jays and the Pirates.
Correct.
It's tough to judge. You know what I mean? 4-game sample size. They really don't have much of a scouting report on him. The Cubs lit him up, 3 home runs, 3 runs. But everywhere else, he's kind of played dog water teams. Marlins, the Rats. I know you like the Rats. The poop games. I know you guys like them. The Rats. The Blue Jays are now getting good. They're getting fun. I think if you're telling me right now I have to bet somebody in the NL, it's going to be Kim because he's very consistent. He's almost batting 400, and I think he's just overlooked, which I really hope people start talking about him because he's a very fun player to watch.
Yeah, 16 to 1 right now on DraftKings Sportsbook. So get a little piece of that. I will for some Colby love here on a daily ticket. I will get that ticket as soon as we are done here. So I have a little something to cheer for as far as Rookie of the Year is concerned. I agree with McCable. He's been awesome.
Yeah.
As he can get in the conversation if it's August and he's still doing what he's been doing.
Yeah.
Sure. But it's tough. It's a tough award to win. Drake Baldwin, though, not sold on him with the Braves, huh?
My friend Jay Cussin has a million Mike. What the hell? Oh my God, where is this? Where are my notes? Matt Shaw, Cubs fan. Jay Cussin has a million tickets on Matt Shaw to win NL Rookie of the Year. He does not like Baldwin, but they're both having terrible Junes. They're batting under 200, both of them. So I don't know what to expect. I don't really want to pay for anyone under 10 to 1 right now, unless I have the utmost confidence in the world, which I would already be selling you that if I had one, but I don't. But I will give you this. I locked in your most consistent pitcher to win Cy Young at 12 to 1.
Hey, great bet. Great bet. Yeah, Zach, great bet.
Mr. He only misses when he's having a child. How could I not be on the guy? Yeah,
it's a lot. Yeah, he's probably gonna have 2 more this year, but you never know.
Oh, it's a couple days off. I mean, he's got PTO.
And then he comes back on Father's Day and his lights out. It was unbelievable. This guy.
I had a terrible Sunday, but he killed it, and I was like, that counts. That's a W. That's a W.
We are entertaining these dumb, summer days with lists right now. You know how it works, and people are running around with name your top 5, top 10 players in Philadelphia sports currently. Zach Wheeler's in my top 5. He's, it's you got Harper, of course. You got a Super Bowl winning quarterback of Jalen Hurts. Saquon Barkley had a great season. You want to show some love to some other teams with Joel Embiid. I get it. He's not playing, but still, I love JoJo. But Zach Wheeler's got to be on that list. He's top 5. He is a bona fide number 1, a guy that will put an end to any losing streaks and is just awesome to watch.
Yeah. Same amount of quality starts as Skeens. He just needs to get that ERA down. I think the race is closer than the odds indicate. 12 to 1 when Skeens is what? Minus something? I think he's like minus 150, 200 range or even money, whatever he is.
You can get it right now.
It's not that far apart, in my opinion.
A plus 1,100 for Zach Wheeler still, and it's of course because of Skeens, and he's minus 360. But I'm right there.
Yeah, that's there. Yeah, it's June. It's June. It's not a wrap. If anything's a wrap, it's the AL MVP. Other than that, it's not. And to the people listening, since I mentioned that, if you think Aaron Judge is due for an injury, you take Cal Raleigh today. You take Cal Raleigh right now, which I won't. I won't. My Lord and Savior Aaron Judge would never do that to that man. Would never.
All right. You know why I love Colby? Obviously, because he hops on this show and brings the juice, brings the energy like nobody else. But he also has his show coming up here in about 15 minutes. So we went extended time. I appreciate that. We'll get you out of here on this one. Perfect segue.
Goodbye.
As Cal Raleigh, that was a call for Cal Raleigh going yard there. I'm not going to get rid of you just yet. But do you have anybody right now on your card that will be hitting a bomb this evening, so this way we can be watching the nuke alert videos coming on our timelines later together?
I knew you would ask, and I scrolled right down to my notes just for you. And we just talked about him. Aaron Judge.
Oh,
but
Judge
but not 1. We're going 2.
2.
18 to 1. We're going with 2. I know they're in a slump. They had a players-only meeting led by Judge and Stanton.
Really?
And that team lives and dies on the captain's shoulders. You could tell me that team has gone a week without scoring a run. This guy has got to put his mouth where his bat is and start a rally with this team, and he starts it with a home run. Do I have the one? Yes, I also have his bases at -115. I'm not going to pronounce the Angel starter's last name because, good Lord, that is a mouthful. Well, we got to talk about it. I got the whole notes written up right now. Has an elite rating and 100 elite ratings, goes over his bases 58% of the time at home. This is at home, if I didn't mention. Records a home run 34% of the time. Judge has a run value of 11 or greater versus 66% of Jack Coates, not saying the rest of the name, pitches. Average run value against his entire arsenal is a +8.5. Jack has an ERA on the road of 5.85, 2.88 opponent batting average. Overall this season, 5.53 ERA, 1.59 whip, allowing 5.7 hits, 1.3 extra base hits per game. Fourth worst pitcher on the day, according to Batters-Box. Poor average hitter matchup, WOBA. ISO, K percentage, and ground ball percentage. We want that. We want line drives, nothing on the ground. He's 48% sinkers. Judge this season is batting 558 against sinkers, 837 slugging percentage, 628 WOBA. Has not gone over his bases since Friday. In this life, Sean, we are due for nothing except for Judge to get his rear end in action tonight, baby. He's leaving the yard not once, not over. It's twice. We're not going to go over two. Excuse me. Got way ahead of myself. 18-1. I think if you have $5 to burn, you put it on 2, and then you put whatever you want on everything else. You bet responsibly, however. But -115 for his bases tonight is insane. Cal Raleigh just faced Mr. Jack. I'm not pronouncing his last name. I'm not going to butcher that because we already butchered Castellanos and my last name. Cal Raleigh was -110, +210 home run against him when he hit 2. He only hit 1 off of him. But that's insane. We're starting to respect Cal more. But why is Judge bases -115? I know the weather's meh in the Bronx. Weather doesn't bother me. If they're playing, there's a chance. And that's all I care about. If you're wondering, hey, does Colby look into the weather? Never. I don't care about the weather because if there's bad weather, they're not playing. And if there's okay weather, they're playing. I want to be in on the action. If I like somebody to hit a home run, you've never seen a home run in the rain before?
Not one, but 2.
2. 18-1.
Oh.
Not 1, not 2, not 4.
Colby Marcio, ladies and gentlemen. You can find him, Colby M. Betts. He's coming up next on his timeline over at Your Betting News with Shaggy Betts. Let's go. Bringing the juice like nobody's business. Aaron Judge, get your rear end in shape and hit me 2 dingers. You the man, Colby. Always a pleasure, sir. There will be a bunch of videos on the timeline from this hit. Can't thank you enough. Good luck on those plays. And as always, I salute you, sir. Thank you.
Of course. Appreciate you as always. I'll see you guys in 15 minutes.
Colby! There he is. He is unbelievable. Taking us out here in the 5 o'clock hour with a little baseball tonight. Hopefully that doesn't get me dinged by YouTube. So much going on in the world of baseball. Everybody's playing. Everybody's in action. We're even having a live game going off right now. Unbelievable. All right, here's the deal. Great stuff from Colby there. I got to get my Judge ticket. I'm taking my Kim Rookie of the Year approach too as well. Let's get some juice on that one. All right. It's 16-1 right now for Rookie of the Year. Those are 2 plays that I'm riding Colby as far as tonight's games are concerned. Other than that, we do have the Phillies going off, and we do look at Ranger Suarez this evening. We were talking about this a little earlier today with Kyle Fisher. Great job by him joining us a little earlier as well. For Ranger Suarez, you know he's going into the 6th or the 7th inning. 5.5 strikeouts at +120. You're damn right we're on that one. Hopefully he can get to 6 and cash us that ticket as well. Great stuff from Colby. Great stuff from Kyle Fisher. The programs roll on here as far as the Gambler is concerned. Coming up at 6 o'clock, you're going to hear Swing It and Ding It, a fantastic listen on all things PGA Tour and Philadelphia golf. And folks, if you watched last night, there was a great show on the Cobbs Creek Foundation. There's a whole new deal going on up there at Cobbs Creek, one of the oldest golf courses here in Philadelphia. A whole new change, everything happening. Make sure you check them out on socials at Cobbs Creek FND. Swing It and Ding It is coming your way at 6 o'clock right here. They just put out a brand new episode. They just recorded a little earlier today where they were joined by Aaron Cook, who produced the docuseries on the Golf Channel as far as Cobbs Creek is concerned, Cobbs Creek Rising. And it was tremendous. I watched a little bit of it last night. Won't lie about that. Didn't watch the full thing, but can't wait to catch it all. Anyways, Aaron Cook joins Moose, Mays, and Danielle. That's coming your way at 6 o'clock. Then at 7 o'clock, you got Nick McClay and Ryan Beefcoil, because football is king. Yes, football is king year-round, Monday through Friday, Monday through Sunday, 365. Yeah, Monday through Sunday. Sorry about that. Football is king. They tackle everything from NFL and college football, and it's an exciting time of year as both are fast approaching. So catch that at 7 o'clock. 7:30, we got Sam Ostry and Jack Forrest back at it again on the clock as far as the NBA draft is concerned. Yeah. One week today, baby. 1 week today, the Philadelphia 76ers will be picking 3rd overall, or will they? We don't know. But Sam and Jack are all over for us here on The Gambler. That's coming your way at 7:30. So keep it locked to us right here on The Gambler. And as always, if you missed anything, check us out online at foxphogambler.com. Do not go anywhere. More after this.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use